Cocaine Bear is the new highly publicized comedy written by Jimmy Warden and directed by Elizabeth Banks, loosely based on a true story. I say loosely because here's the true story. One time, a bear was found dead in Georgia alongside 40 open plastic containers of cocaine. It was later taxidermized and put on display and given the name Cocaine Bear. And Warden said he wanted to make this movie a twisted fantasy of what the bear got up to while he was on coke. And if the script we got was Warden being twisted, frankly, he needs to get out a bit more because it is as bland as it gets, if I'm being honest. You've got some kids who are on the mitch. You've got drug dealers doing drug dealer stuff. You've got a cop chasing said dealers. You've got some unruly kids who bother the local mountain rangers. You've got some hikers, and you've got our bear. And I actually can't review Cocaine Bear without paraphrasing a quote from The 40-Year-Old Virgin, ironically, which is a movie which starred director Elizabeth Banks. And this is what I thought about it. Everyone said, you know, you got to check out this movie, and it's a bear on cocaine. And I get there, and I think it's going to be awesome. And it's not as cool as it sounds like it's going to be. It's kind of gross. You think a bear on cocaine, and you get there, and it's a bear on cocaine. It was really snorting that cocaine. And you know what? To be honest, I just kind of felt bad for the bear. I was not greedy when it came to Cocaine Bear. I had simple demands. All I wanted was what it was presented with, okay? I wanted a bunch of unlikable characters who I wanted to see get theirs, and I wanted them to find a bear sniffing cocaine. The bear goes mental and takes them out in one ridiculous set piece after another, and hilarity ensues. Simple concept, that's all you need to do. What I did not expect or want from this movie was actual characters, three-dimensional living, breathing characters. I didn't want a plot. I didn't want arcs. I didn't want a backstory. I didn't want good guys. I didn't want bad guys. I didn't want silly characters doing silly things. And I didn't want people trying and failing to be funny. I got all of the above, the good and the bad, okay? There are fleeting moments in Cocaine Bear when it remembers what it's supposed to be and is really funny. And then it goes back to the exact same tropes that didn't work to begin with. It kind of leaves the impression that they gave away, it's one of these movies that gave away everything they had in the trailer. They overthought the shit out of this by thinking about it at all. You had an absolute winner of a concept right there on the table. Stretch it out for 90 minutes, everyone gets paid, and you're immortalized forever with a cult following and as a table quiz answer. Nobody who went to this cared if Elizabeth Banks was a talented director. That wasn't something that we go to Cocaine Bear to prove. In fact, she'd have gained plaudits by just managing to stick the landing here and get out of her own way. Instead, she's trying to capture beautiful scenery. She's trying to get good shots. She's trying to experiment with lighting and VFX and a lot of unnecessary bullshit for what's trying to be an 80s homage cheesy B movie. And what that leads to is an uneven experience because you're not sure if you're watching that, because again, at certain times you do have like characters show up in like luminous jumpsuits and whatnot, and you're like, okay, that's very 80s. But then at other, and you do have like 80s soundtrack in the background, but then at other times you have like long shots where you're like, I think I'm supposed to think this is beautiful and start caring about this landscape, but it's also a really stupid premise. It's just confusing. And what a role for to be one of Ray Liotta's lasts and to finish a glittering career on, which the movie is dedicated to Liotta. He had it right there with Blackbird, like the tearjerker role where he almost went out at his absolute peak, and we're like, right, there you go, Ray Liotta. That is amazing. What a way to sign off. And then movies like this came calling and just left us feeling kind of weird the entire time. That this great actor's last impression on us before he passed was this absolute gick. The same goes for really talented, funny actors like Jesse Tyler Ferguson is in this, Margot Martindale and Isaiah Whitlock Jr., who, God love them, tried, but had absolutely nothing to work with because there's different plays to play, there's different ways to play this type of movie. Either it's zinger after zinger after zinger, or the script plays the concept straight and the actors either underplay or overplay their parts to the point that it's funny. What we got was that the script kind of, and this was what surprised me, the script kind of played it straight here, and the actors played it straight too. So except for the odd occasion where they didn't, that just came across as really random and then being just weird. There was some overly gratuitous gore, which I guess was supposed to be the joke because humans dying. Cocaine Bear, though, for me, I know a lot of people like this. And again, if you did, more power to you. I wanted to kind of get the buzz that a lot of people are from this movie. But for me, it was a bad trip. And for me, I think I'm better off just sleeping it off and forgetting it ever happened.